Okay, so people, this is King James Yiye here, and this afternoon I'm here to answer your questions about radio. So I call it Radio 101. It's been a long time since I went on live on my page. Do they call it page? I think it's page or profile or whatever. But I've been going live on Asking Radio. So here on Facebook for a long time. This is the first time in a long time that I'm going live. So basically, I want to, test this and also ask you to ask me all your questions about radio. That's why I call it Radio 101. So I have a long history with radio. My experience with radio, I've come a long way on radio, 25 years now and counting. And so to some extent, I am radio, and I sleep radio, I eat radio, I do everything radio. It's just in my blood. And one thing I've found with radio is that not just about radio, but for me, it's radio because this is what I've done all my life. But one thing I've found is that when you're doing what you love doing, the stress might be there, but it's less because you don't necessarily feel it that much. So it's more like you are just doing what you love doing, and you just go on doing it, and you just enjoy doing it. Basically, does that. So I've done a couple of things on radio, from presentation to announcing, to news writing, to report production, to news reading, a whole lot of stuff for radio, and then training other radio practitioners, broadcasters across the country. So I've done a lot of that as well. And then I have been to all departments of radio, not just, sitting and talking and doing production, but radio engineering as well. So I've done it. I've set up my radio station myself. So everything you are seeing here, perhaps you can just see me, but if you've seen Asking Radio videos before, whatever you are seeing here has been set up by me, and that's me, King James Yiye, and I've set up other radio stations, concept and the whole putting it up together. So I've done a whole lot of stuff like that. And so if you're watching on Facebook and you want to ask me a question about radio, I have few minutes to do this because I'm going to do something else, of course, doing radio, but of course having time for my friends as well. So you can ask me the questions about radio, perhaps from licensing to production to training to anything. So more like giving consultancy on radio now. That's what I'm here to do for you. Do anything for you on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. That's why you are here, and that's why I'm here. So if you're watching me on Facebook and you want to ask any question, go ahead and ask on Facebook. If you would prefer to call me, it's 0903 648 5868. That's 0903 648 5868 if you would want to call me and ask me the question. A lot of people, let me jump onto mentoring. A lot of people have been talking about mentoring, especially on my last post on Facebook. There is something about mentoring. Yes, I have mentored a lot of people. I'm still mentoring a lot of people. At my radio station, I always have students on the students' industrial training scheme, that's SEWAS, and they're always here from universities across the country. Some have come from Kano, some have come from Taraba, some have come from Adamawa, some have come from Anambra, some have come from Ebonyi, and all across the place. So they come here and they get not just first-hand experience on radio, but we go much beyond that, and I make sure that I open them up, even those that never thought they would be on radio. When they come to Speed FM, you find them doing radio. That's the joy I derive in doing this as well. So a whole lot of things, but I can't keep talking on my own except you have any questions to ask me. By the way, I'm just testing this because I've not gone live for a long time. So if you have the questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'll go back to work and then I explain few things to you in the studio where I am. Basically, I'm talking on the microphone here, and it's a Neumann BCM 104. That's what I'm talking on. Now, right here in front of me, it's a console. That's audio console or a mixer for this radio. An 8-channel is handmade from Holland, and it's got 3 mic in. That's 3 mic lines, but you can add if you want to, add like what you see somewhere here. Yeah, you can see me pointing at there. Is the Mikey 082 VLZ4. So with this one, you can route in more microphones or any other source in, but I'm okay with this microphones that I have here. So if you see the setup there, I have not switched on the lights, but that camera there is taking you into when I have guests. My intention is not to have more than 2 guests, so you can see 2 microphones there. Those are the Electro Voice microphones and EV320 series, and then back to this one here that I'm talking on. So for radio now, if you are versatile, you're doing radio, which is supposedly audio, but you can see that we're doing visual radio. And what I'm doing here, I'm talking to you, but I'm also doubling as a visual mixer, and that's why I'm able to change those cameras even though I'm talking to you here. So you can see that I've moved to another camera. That's me doing that. If you're watching me on Facebook, and then I've come back, so I can even move into some kind of montage, playing what we've recorded and showing you our studio here. So what you are seeing on Facebook now playing is what was recorded 2022 when we started. That's the studio, and there's some lights there. So this is handmade to our branding. That is what is showing on the screen there. So it's conflicting with my voice. So I just faded the voice, the music now. So that's some sort of error there on the mixing of that one. But if you come back to this one here, this one you hear just my voice and the pictures, they're playing. And so I go back to me talking to you now on that camera. So that's for the visual aspect of our stream. Now back here, this microphone is routed to this mixer, which is what I'm pointing at if you're watching me. And then from here, all the sources of sound are coming in here. This mixer has 4 USB channels, meaning that on the same PC, which is a workstation, this is not your everyday computer. What you see to my right there, it's not your everyday computer, but custom built for a radio station like this. So it's got in 4 USB channels, meaning that I can switch to something else on the computer, like the playout system that we're using here is going on, but I can bring in something else. If you can see it on the screen, and it can go into that. For instance, if you look coming in here, it will now go to one of these USB channels and go back to you. Then all the other microphones are also routed here, and another source of sound coming in here from STL. STL means Studio Transmitter Link, meaning that I have the remote studio, and when I'm broadcasting away from here, it comes into this and then goes to the transmitter as well. So from here, this is going into the audio processor, which is at the transmitter, and it takes sound to you. So if you have any questions, you ask me. Otherwise, this is why I'll be stopping for this broadcast, especially that music got into the stream, and I'm not quite sure about copyright issues, but I've faded that montage too. This is the one that brought in music, But for now, it's just my voice there. So it's just me you are going to see. Ask me your questions. Come to Facebook where you are watching and ask me your questions. Or if you want to call me, you are very free to do that. You can call 0902 648 5868. That's 09, not 0902, 0903 648 5868. That's 0903 648 5868. So you can call me if you want to ask me a question about radio, or if it is, easier for you and simpler for you to come to Facebook, then you can ask me here on Facebook. By the way, I would like to know if the stream is audible enough. Apart from that mix where the music came in, then any other thing, you can come in here and say it. It's King James YiYE on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, doing Radio 101. So I am not streaming via Speed FM, but just through my page, which I've not done for quite a long time. And that's why I'm just trying to do that. And so this is how I'll be stopping here now, but I'll be doing this from time to time. And do enjoy yourself. Bye.